Yeah. What's up, pimps? Merry Christmas. It's your boy, Cree. What's up, everybody? Everybody in
Hey,
computer land.
what's up?
How you doing, Miss Gray?
Good, how are you?
So,
Oh,
we have a guest coming through tonight. And it was kind of short notice, but he wanted to come visit. So we lined it up. I don't even know if this... Let's see. You mind if I go ahead and bring him up?
yeah, go ahead.
All right, Carlos, bring it on up, man. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, doing
Merry
everything I
Christmas.
can. How y'all doing? Thank you. Merry Christmas to y'all too. Merry Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas tomorrow day.
Yeah. Man, it was one hell of a day today, huh?
Yeah? What happened, y'all?
Well, I worked all day. What about you, Gray?
I worked for half a day, and then, initially I woke up and I realized that I had left my wallet in my car and somebody had broken in and taken it.
Oh, shit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh no!
Did you have a lot of money?
Well, I had 2 credit cards, a debit card, my ID, but then I froze them, and then about an hour later, like down the street, someone was trying to use it, and then they tried to use it again for like gas or something. So they're like,
Oh shit!
license plate is most definitely in a fucking picture somewhere, so they're fucked. But then, what happens if they get in trouble for that? Are they gonna come retaliate? I don't know.
Well, did they get your ID?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
My assumption is they wouldn't. I don't think they would. If they're stealing that shit, I mean, they're desperate for money. I mean, they're not gonna retaliate.
I don't know.
They probably got some dire consequences of their
Yeah, if they show up, they may
Why they did that.
incriminate themselves, huh? I think
Yeah, for sure.
if they
And
show
if they
up,
got, like you said,
they may be basically pointing themselves out, you know?
Well, I'm talking about like after the fact. You know what I mean? But yeah, whatever.
nah, chances are that they'll probably move on and steal money from someone else. It'll be an afterthought. Because why would they waste so much time on one person when they could probably steal from someone else and steal from someone else too?
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah. So what you been
But
doing,
I get-
Carlos?
Really, I've just been, life's been pretty hectic. And I'm trying to not lose everything, that I have.
Is there any light at the end of the tunnel with your living situation?
I really don't know. I filled out.
Are you truly getting evicted? Like, is there any way that you like could salvage that, or like, I wasn't sure if like you were living with somebody else or like somebody had moved out, so I didn't know maybe if you could have found another roommate.
So my living situation, honestly, it's a story from a story. The previous living situation that I was in before this, it just went to shit, and I actually was started to live in hotels because they came after me and my dogs. So I removed myself from the situation, and then a friend hooked me up to stay at a friend's place until I could get into this apartment, which one of my other bosses at the time got a deal on. And so then I started to move in with a friend at the time, a stripper, and we lived here together. And then she went on a psychotic rampage because of shit, and I couldn't take it anymore. And it was either me or her could leave the place. I was shocked she left, but not so much because I kind of figured out like a bunch of her life and shit. And I don't think she could take the paranoia of like me flipping on her, which I wouldn't. I want her out of my life. So she actually left, but that meant that I have both of the rents to take care of. And working wise, because of COVID, the serving place I'm at is no longer 24, so I was no longer overnights, and the evening shift I don't make shit. So I got behind on rent.
Is there like Uber or something? I'm sorry if you've already considered all of this, but like, could you do something
Uber
like that?
My car is broken at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have money to pay insurance for a front bumper that needs to be put on.
Okay.
I could and I would. My car is absolute trash. I have no money coming in, and I'm at my wit's end. So I filled out renter's assistance.
I was going to ask that next.
Which,
awesome. Okay.
Yep, I filled that out, except unfortunately. So I've never really comprehended like paperwork really well. Like school was always difficult for me. So I needed help with it. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get help until the night of my eviction date. So renter's assistance got turned in that night. And I called them the next day or Monday or something. I don't remember. And they said they're looking over it. And they reached out to my landlord and they're giving information. And then an eligibility team will reach out to me. However, I was not able to provide documents, like as far as like proof of lost hours and such, because the company that I work for, I wasn't able to get to it in time. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm living kind of day to day.
And said, hey, like I'm in a fucking predicament right now. Can you like help me out? Could you?
Yeah,
like, I was also thinking what maybe you could do is say, hey, I know we're in this position right now, but like you could get your stuff together and then say, can I pay you weekly and then pay you 1.5 to make up, and then basically, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's something.
So no, so they actually kind of know about the situation that I was the living situation, because my lady friend, not girlfriend all the way, but my benefits friend, she had called the cops on me, trying to set me up because just some shit that went down that I didn't even know she was even doing. So like they actually tried to help me with a payment plan, except I actually think they might have accidentally messed up on the payment plan just by purely helping me, which is fine. So I think that's what happened. But as far as like paying weekly, my other jobs, my other boss has never reached back to me, so I don't think she has any jobs that I can do. And then my main job, which is a serving job, because I'm a bit unstable right now with my schizophrenia, they actually want me to get better before I can come back, because last week I tried working and I couldn't take it. I was just kind of breaking down. I was trying to fight it, but I couldn't do it. So I'm in a predicament to where like I don't really know what to do for like
hey Sharon, Merry Christmas.
And just so I'm just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Have they paused the addiction? They paused it for now?
From what I understand, I don't think so. From what I understand, it sounds like it's a lot easier for them to deal with rental assistance than for them to go to like their lawyer and then just to,
they are going to help you.
Hey,
I'm hoping so.
You can't?
I'm hoping so.
Okay, so all right, is there like are there any other jobs out right now? Is there anything like that you could do? I don't know Fargo. I know it's like 100,000 or something, but is there anything else that you could do, or could you go? I know that you're dealing a lot with your mental stuff, but are there any places that like will treat you on a sliding scale?
Like a sliding scale fee?
Yeah, kind of saying like, okay, well, you can't really afford much right now, but like they'll treat you based on that. And then I don't know how much your medication is, but
So I actually just got some information from this church I just started attending to, and I'm gonna fill it out because they actually help people with mental health as well, and they help people with schizophrenia. So I'm actually gonna fill that out, and hopefully like that can be my answer, because I'm I'm at my wit's end. I don't know. Honestly, I'm willing just to take my dogs and take them back to my parents and then just leave Fargo, kind of.
Hey,
I mean, if that's an option, I know that's not a great option, but it could be enough that you could, get yourself medicated, and maybe try.
And I have meds.
But like
I
maybe
have
you
meds.
try to work it out with them and say, I don't know, but like, are you on your parents' insurance?
Nope. I've been on my own for a very long time. So dealing with this shit with my mental health is all new. The medication I'm on, it's a give and take. It's a very big time antipsychotic, except I sleep a lot. Like I'll sleep for about 12 to 16 hours on it. And if you look up just, schizo, like that's what happens. Like you just sleep a lot because it's trying to get the brain to calm down. So I don't really like sleeping for 12, 16 hours a day because then my day is gone and then I got to plan around taking my meds. So working wise, like I don't really know how to, I don't know how to become self-sufficient again. And that's what I'm trying to, because I was self-sufficient up until July. And then everything just started unraveling slowly by slowly. So it's just, I know I can be in a better spot. It's just not happening soon enough.
Hey, Carlos, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind me asking what how come you can't work without this medication? Like, what kind of onset problems do you get without this medicine? Like, how come you can't function in the workplace? Like, what's the difference between being under, like, no medication at work versus not working and having no medication? Like, is it just performance-wise, like you don't embarrass yourself at work, or like?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. So I mean, I can't focus. Yeah. Basically, and this one's really frustrating because I have the logic, but in the moment, that logic is gone. So, okay, so when I take tables, everyone is looking at me, but everyone is not looking at me. Everyone is talking about me. Everyone is not talking about me. Everyone is giving me subliminal messages. Everyone's not giving me subliminal messages. Everyone's laughing at me. Everyone's not laughing at me. And it's this endless cycle. So when I go take a table and I start taking someone's order, then that's when everything starts happening. And then my coworkers, I think they're plotting against me and talking against me. So the paranoia really starts to creep on, and I can't stop it. I'll try to ground myself. I mean, I even have, a headphone in my ear to listen to music to kind of keep me in reality. But when all that's going on, I can't stop it. I try my best. So I'll go outside, have a cigarette, trying to like get in touch with nature. And then I go back inside and it's tenfold. It just keeps happening. Now, an antipsychotic, it's supposed to help level my brain out and bring it down to where hopefully it doesn't do it that much. It's just, I'm not even at the therapeutic dosage yet because the medicine I'm on, it's one medicine they're supposed to bring you along slowly. So, I mean, I'm kind of getting to the therapeutic range.
What are you on right now? If you don't
it's called Seroquel.
Okay, yeah, that's like, oh my God. I think there are better ones out there. I heard Seroquel's like not even that great. It's just so profitable though.
It makes you sleep. And that's the problem is I actually don't even sleep. Ever since schizophrenia started happening, when I had a split go through my brain, I can stay up 2 days, 3 days, no sleep. My brain is just going. So the Seroquel is actually the only medication that I've ever been on to where I can sleep and I don't have to put myself to sleep. Like I was putting myself to sleep by like drinking a whole bottle of NyQuil, Benadryl, and it wasn't even working. Over-the-counter night meds, it wasn't working. I couldn't get this brain to stop. So Seroquel is the only one to bring me to sleep. So and I've heard that it works for me to sleep, and I've noticed like the scattered thoughts, like it jumps down from 100% to 80%. So that 20% different might not seem that much, but to me, in my reality, in my head, that does mean a world's difference, but it's still not, the circle still isn't enough. And even my psychiatrist just recently said that, you know, like, I'm under medicated, but then, okay, well, that's a reflection on their end as well. So I'm in a stalemate. I'm actually just debating on just going to get hospitalized just to like do anything that I can so I'm not losing everything. It's a much harder task to do than what it sounds like, because but I'm trying. And I'm thankful for, you know, Marcel giving me some money. I'm thankful for you too, as actually giving me some money. That was really, like, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. It was a lot. It was a lot for me because I was able to get some food. So, I thank you. I mean, this is just the reality of someone who lives with schizophrenia. So I'm trying my best to not be a statistic.
What do you think, like, would your parents help you, or is that out of the question?
They actually disowned me today.
For what?
They
do what? On Christmas Eve?
Yep.
Wow,
yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
You know, they're much older. You know, I'm adopted, so, you know, they're born in the 40s.
Yeah.
So mental health really wasn't a concept back then. So when it comes to my schizophrenia, like, they don't really understand, and I get it. Like, they don't have it, so I understand that they don't get it. No, so they just want to move.
That's not an excuse. Schizophrenia has been around forever. It's not a new
and see,
concept.
like, and they I mean, yeah, you know, it's just the fact that they don't understand. And I got the message this morning when I woke up, and I just really haven't processed it yet. But honestly, I'm not really surprised.
What do they want you to do? You can't work through it.
Go to work.
You can't. Like, you're in a social job. Like, you can't. Like, I don't expect people with PTSD to fucking work with people. It's fucking hard, you know. And
so that's where the barrier is. They don't get it, and I think honestly, it's doing them some favors to where, like, they're not letting me down anymore, because they already let me down a long time ago, and I know they haven't forgiven themselves for it. So it's just I'm not surprised. I'm not. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But I'll figure it out. I always do.
Could you work alone?
That's what, like, I had some cleaning jobs and some independent jobs. It's just my cleaning boss just hasn't reached back to me yet. So I don't really know. I don't know what the deal is. I actually have their vacuum, so I would think they would want their vacuum back, because that costs them money.
I'm looking in Fargo right now for jobs, and, like, there's like a warehouse worker at UPS. Like, you could completely be in your own head, but you would have to, like, sort packages, and then, like, packaging. I guess at this place, like, you could, like, pick packages, and those are sort of more isolated. You know, you could stock shelves, Home Depot. Is that something you could do?
As long as I'm isolated, I'm game for it. The thing is, like, I really like
people, but you're not gonna have to like mask and everything and kind of try to make people smile and use that customer service stuff. You'd more so be doing like more of a physical labor job, which might be good. Exercise is good, you know?
Yeah, and actually that is something I wouldn't mind. I guess to me, you know, like, when I started serving, I was in a really good routine because I was working about 65 to 70 hours with all my jobs, and, like, I stayed sane. I had a lot of money coming in for the first time to where for the first time in my life, I didn't even have to worry about money. I could spend hundreds of dollars and I wouldn't even have to give a shit. And
Yeah.
so losing the overnights just really affected me. And then I had to quit my other job so that I could somewhat maintain the income. And it never worked. So to me, I know how good of a server I am. So like, I would like to keep that part of me. But I think at this point, I'm slowly realizing that I think serving is out of the question until I'm stable and until
Yeah, and that's
medications
fine.
truly kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed serving. It was fun. I earned a lot of money. I was earning about, I don't know, about $4,000 a month between my jobs. So it was pretty good. I had my cleaning jobs, and I had a deal set up with my boss where I'd earn about $575 a week. And then on top of serving, from Thursday to Sunday, I'd collect about $400 in cash, and then on card tips, about $2,000, give or take. So I had some good money, and I had a good routine at that time. And routine's always been helpful to me. So I'm trying to get into a routine and see how much that will help.
Could you pass a drug test?
I think so.
Okay.
I actually, I stopped some stupid shit that wasn't helping. And unless they did like a follicle, but a regular piss test, yeah, I think so. And I've always wanted to be sober, and just watching how shit affected me and then other people in my life, how it affected them. Sobriety is very important to me. And I'm, like I said, I'm kind of at wit's end with everything, and even with myself. So I'm really ashamed of myself for even putting myself in this position. And I'm just kind of repenting for my sins, if you will.
I don't think you put yourself in this position. You know, this is a mental illness.
Right.
Like, it isn't completely your fault.
It's not, because I think back to years when I was younger, like I had skit symptoms, but that was very normal to me. I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then in my early 20s, I remember kind of acting a bit odd. And looking back now, that is what it was. So the skits has always been a part of me. Okay. It's just last year.
Check this out real quick. Could you do a help desk role, which would still kind of be, you would still have to interact with people, but it would be over a computer? Could you do that?
I'm not computer equipped, but I try to tell people I could learn, but I'm not a tech person. The last time I owned a computer was 10 years ago, give or take.
Okay.
I tried learning how to use a computer and it never worked. I'm not Marcel is a computer person. I'm not.
Really, is he? Okay.
Better than me. Better than me, for sure. So, yeah. But I'm trying. My best. It's just, I have high standards for myself, and I know I'm better than this, so I'm just trying to not be so hard on myself, but it's difficult because I have standards for myself.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing, though, that you like went out and got your paperwork for that renter's assistance. Like, that's really great. Like, you're able to do that. Like, that's really great. You know, a lot of people, like, you know, you even said, like, you're not good at paperwork, but you fucking did it. So, I mean, that's amazing.
I don't want to be a statistic. I look up, and actually I got friends that remind me of statistics with schizophrenia, which I'd really not prefer to hear it coming from them, but I know they care, but I don't want to be a statistic. I have a future in writing, and I know I will be successful, so this is probably part of it to get there. I believe God has a plan. To much my dismay, this is probably part of his plan. So I have to just trust that he is working, and I can't lose faith. I can't. But aside of that, what else did y'all want to talk about?
I don't know.
Cree, how about yourself?
Well, I'm just chilling out, relaxing. I don't really know. I mean, I got the countdown going on for Santa to arrive, and you mentioned coming on tonight, so I was like, well, why not? But I figured maybe we could get an update on what's been going on with you. I guess we've been kind of covering that, huh?
Yeah, it's been grueling. It's just, honestly, I didn't even really realize that I was in this position until recently. Like, it just kind of just like I knew everything was happening, but I didn't really take a second to like, hey Clark, look at what's going on, and that's kind of what I did this week. So it's schizophrenia. It's also part of addiction because I was addicted to a substance. So it's just at the end of the day, I have to own up to my actions and my consequences. And that's just kind of what I'm doing.
I just hate that you can't work without the medicine, though. Is there a way that you can like push through it, or does it get that bad, like where you just really can't deal with it?
I tried to last Saturday. I tried to.
Give me an example of what would go down in a scenario.
So taking tables, and then everyone is just like, everyone's bothering me, but they're not bothering me. But I'm in my head, but I don't really realize like my whole demeanor changes. Like I'm just really quiet, and I just like it's all in my face. So I go. Once when I'm able to get out of my head, I'll say to my boss, "Hey, can I go outside for a few minutes?" They'll let me go outside and have a smoke and try to calm back down. Mm-hmm. I go back inside, but then passing everyone and the coworkers, and it doesn't help that everyone knows about my mental illness. So now, like a symptom is everyone talks about you and everyone's plotting against you, but now that they know, that makes my symptoms.
You seem like you, I don't know if you're just in a good wave right now. Are there like manias, like highs and lows you go through?
Yep.
Like how
bipolar?
Yeah, something like that. How are you feeling right now? Because you seem pretty chill. It's hard to see.
Right?
It's hard to see you.
That's schizoaffective, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I've got. Bipolar. Than just regular depression.
Way worse than just schizophrenia or just bipolar. Like that takes that to a whole nother level where you have like mania with like legit psychosis, which then that you can actually become harmful to yourself. Like that becomes very dangerous.
Yep.
So
I have bipolar too. And so I didn't even realize this until I got actually diagnosis. But one of my one of my exes, she had pointed out, she was like, I don't think you realize this is what's going on. But she's like, you have manic episodes where you're really, really, really high and then you're really, really, really low. So she actually pointed out to me, which is kind of interesting because I had always kind of wondered if I was bipolar because my moods were just kind of everywhere and such, and they're just really intense. So right now, I would say I'm a bit manic mostly because I'm home alone. I'm not around everyone, so I don't really have to mask anything. And I would like to think this is who I am, but this is what I am capable of. But then it's just when I'm alone. So talking to y'all, that helps. But then when I'm alone, it's much different. And at work, it's much different. It's just a coworker said like my mood switched like just like that. So it's
Well, I don't think you're
not
really switching moods necessarily. You're probably just reacting to like stimuli and then processing it, and then that's causing your moods. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like actually just
yeah.
reacting to the world. And I don't blame you, dude. Like, working at a restaurant like that, like it want not really upscale, but you get all kinds of people who come in there and everything, and Karens and things like that, and just judgy people, and then you think that they're talking about you, but they maybe they are, you know what I mean? They're like, where's my fucking water? You know what I mean? Just shit like that. And it builds,
and that's a problem. And the problem with my diagnosis is with autism, everything is about you. Schizophrenia, everything is against you. So they both collide. So serving is just, yeah, because like, I mean, exactly. Like, I am their waiter and I have to get them their shit. So if I'm not getting them their shit, then they're talking about me. So my symptoms, if you look up the symptoms, like, it's one thing to read it, but then living with it, like, I wouldn't want this on anyone, not even my worst enemy, because it's just, I get impaired. And there are some times where I'm driving around in psychosis and I shouldn't even be driving. And it's just like, I'll just take off and drive. And I think it's one of those self-harming situations where like, I just drive. And so being able to kind of get back.
Yeah. I want to say about this dude in the chat, but P69, if you knew anything about disability, you'd realize that there are literal people out there with no arms, no legs, who cannot even take care of themselves, who are being denied for disability right now. Like, look it up. Like, there are tons of news articles on this. It's not fucking easy to just like walk in and say, hey, I'm disabled. You need to go to a doctor. You need to do all kinds of shit and prove that you can't work. And usually that leads to the point where people are on the verge of being homeless even if they're not homeless. Like, it's nearly impossible. Like, it's really difficult, especially for a psychiatric disorder.
And so I actually thought about doing disability and I got the information, but then I completely misunderstood disability. I thought it was like unemployment where you could collect it for a while and then you could quit it, but disability is for life. And the dollar amount I was given, that is not even enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and unfortunately, my last 2 paychecks that I got from Perkins, where I serve at, I was still having breakdowns and I couldn't finish shifts. So those paychecks would reflect what disability would be, but it's not even. I really wish it'd be my previous paychecks, because then I would feel a hell of a lot better disability. But then disability, I'm on it for life. And I think to myself, there are people in way worse situations than myself, and I don't want to take anything from them. I'm not trying to take away from myself, but it's just, I don't want to give up on myself. I can't. So I guess I don't want the disability, because to me, I feel like I'd give up on myself. It's help, but I know I can do it.
Yeah, dude, like, this is gonna blow over. Like, you're gonna get through this, and you're just now trying to understand, like, what is this disorder? Like, how am I gonna navigate the world? And you'll get there.
And that's pretty much where I'm at. And it's just, like I said, I'm really processing everything that's happened and a lot of people in my life and what I need for myself. So, I mean, that includes, boundaries that I have set with people, to much my dismay. But like I said, navigating, and I'm trying to navigate my best. And like I said, I have to believe that this is part of God's plan and this is what He has in store for me. So I'll get through the rainy days. I just would like to see some sunshine, tomorrow or soon. But I mean, it's difficult. I learned my lesson with addiction. and people around me with addiction. It's unfortunate because when people, try to help people with addiction, like, don't get me wrong, like, the behaviors and everything that people, did while they're addicted, like, it did hurt other people. So people are entitled to their feelings. And, we want to hold people accountable and be like, hey, like, in your battle of addiction, this is what you did to me. But at the same time, I would like to think when everyone was young and growing up and happy, they didn't want to turn to a substance. They didn't want to, but their feelings got hurt because of what life did to them. And so
schizophrenia has such a fucking high rate of like drug abuse. It's insane. Like it's up there with like PTSD.
Yep. And unfortunately, I'm not gonna hide or anything. I did some substances that are up there, and I'm just realizing that that's what happens. And unfortunately, the substances I was using, they don't complement it at all. Like, it makes it a hell of a lot worse. So
do you think
I guess to me, like,
substances cause like long lasting effects? Or do you think that they actually like induce this?
So in my own opinion and just my own understanding of my schizophrenia, I personally believe that schizophrenia is spiritual related and I have access to the spiritual realm. However, certain substances, they make this shit worse. So like paranoia, anxiety, depression, blah, 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 like, it makes it worse. Now, schizophrenia, it degenerates the brain. So let's say in 10 years, my symptoms will get worse. I will be worse. So the shit that I was doing, I basically kind of sped it up a bit, unfortunately. So this will have, a lifelong consequence because I fast forward the degeneration of it. And that's my fault because I chose to do something after I found out what it was. I did stop, but for whatever reason, I went back, and I really don't know why I did, and I don't know why I took it to another level. It's probably because I just wanted to just not deal with this shit. Like the voices, hearing shit, the paranoia, like, it just helped me not deal with it.
Yeah.
But it made things inevitably worse. So
how long has it been since you I guess like did other things like that potentially made things worse?
It was actually this week. Last time was Saturday night. And I just basically said enough is enough. And I actually got done with some withdrawals.
So that's the last time you used, right? Was last Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
I
Used
promise you it's going to get better. It's going to take a little bit, but it's going to be way, way fucking better.
And that's what I have to keep believing in that. It kind of sucks because, you surround yourself with people who are like you. And part of like what you said, like, taking a step back, navigating this world. Well, I surrounded myself with people who are addicts. I hate saying that, but I'm an addict myself. So I have to really just like, what is best for me. And friends I got back in Indiana, friends I got back up here, like addicts. So I need to start surrounding myself with people who either were former addicts and fought for sobriety or just are completely sober. But they understand, though, still about addiction and shit. But, like, it's difficult.
A bad person to, like, surround yourself with? Or, like, what do you think?
I don't think anyone is a bad person to surround yourself with. Because the person that you surround yourself with, like, the three of us, for example, the life that you've had, M. Gray, the reality you had ever since you were little, all the behaviors and everything that shaped your mind has led you to this. Same thing with Free, same thing with myself. Now, if we do something bad to one another, would we consider ourselves a bad person, or is that because of what
I'm
life
not
did to
saying
us,
he's
so we
bad
didn't
or
think
good.
so?
I'm just saying, like, do you think that, like, is he, like, do you think a good person to have in your support system right now? Because I'm thinking, like, who is in your support system, and really he's the only person I can think of, and I hope he's there for you. You know, I hope that if something happened, you know, he would step up and I don't know, maybe give you a place to stay or something.
I would like to think so. I would like to think, people that, some other people I got up in here, they would. And I think they could be. The problem is, and this is true, like, how can you really help someone if you can't even help yourself? So I think Marcel would help, and he has. Don't get me wrong, he has. He's given me some money here and there. He's given me some kratom, which I don't take that much, but he's given me some. And I actually was really surprised because I feel like I've given him a lot, and I've received a millionth of a fraction compared. So I was really surprised, and I was very grateful, and I'm very happy that he did so because it meant a lot to me. And it just shows, he does care. It's just some people, it's like it's hard for me to express, like I love you and such. Like, so it's it's like what's it called? Him giving me money is like an expression of his love and caring, so it helps. Now, letting me crash on the couch, I don't think so, because his girlfriend isn't a fan of me. She's got some type of fantasy or
I remembered that afterwards, actually.
What did you say?
Oh,
she has what?
His girlfriend is not a fan of me. I don't know why. I truly believe Marcel kind of made a story up and exaggerated it.
Probably.
So I don't know. So yeah, that wouldn't happen at all.
Hey, Carlos.
Hi.
I was just listening to you, and I was just wondering, have you ever read that book called Pigs in the Parlor? Are you familiar with it?
What's your name? Sorry.
Jaded.
No. What was the book called?
Pigs in the Parlor.
No.
It's a book about schizophrenia, and it's so interesting. If you ever get the chance to read it, I would recommend it.
Is it audio? Like, could I listen to it?
I'm sure you can find it on audio for sure. I couldn't imagine you wouldn't be able to.
What
I mean, these days about everything is audio.
Reading's very difficult for me, so audio would be very beneficial. Like, what? Could you give me a rundown of it?
Basically, it just like gives like like the stuff that you have to deal with whenever it comes to schizophrenia, and it gives like the scientific like background of it as like it's like a spiritual type book. I heard you say that you believe it's rooted spiritually, and it's actually brings about like the spiritual aspect of it as well. It's been a while since I've read it. I own it. I probably need to get back into it, but yeah, it's a really good book. If you ever get a chance, check it out.
Yeah, no, that actually sounds really interesting. I definitely listen to it because the symptoms that I deal with don't get me wrong, like I've made peace with my schizophrenia. I believe everything has a give and take. Everything has a positive and negative. I do believe schizophrenia does allow me into the spiritual realm, if you will. And I personally have experienced God more since a split went through my brain. But at the same time, the negative side with the emotions and the thoughts, that's truly what's life dampering. Don't get me wrong. Having voices in my head and then lately a soundtrack playing in my head is very annoying. And then when I'm driving around and I hear friends' voices, like it trips me out. But I also
I've heard
noticed
a number of times about it, that there is, it's almost like you have a radio station in your head.
Yep.
And sometimes the channel will change.
So I don't know if you can see this real good. So like it's like let me see. Oh no, okay. So the voices, so this is like your ear. My voices are like right, if you put your ear up here in your brain, like it's right in this area, the region of your brain.
Right.
it's
I've
like,
seen people describe it as that, like right on like the side of their head.
And
everything.
ZWO Dubber said the audiobook is on YouTube, so
it's on
we
YouTube.
got some.
Nice.
Yeah, the audiobook's on YouTube, so
I'll definitely listen to it because it's weird. Actually, I was actually kind of driving around in psychosis the other night, and I wasn't like I was here, but I wasn't here. But I actually heard a dear friend's voice, right there, and it kind of snapped me out of it. And then I realized, oh shit, I've been driving around for a long time. So it's interesting because, hearing their voices, it's hard to trust reality, because like, how can you trust that when it's not there, but it is there? But at the same time, like I wouldn't say like I was in a life situation, but driving around aimlessly in psychosis definitely isn't safe. So hearing her voice and it snapped me out of it, like to me, like that was very beneficial. That was helpful. So it's interesting. It really is. A couple weeks ago, I started to receive what I call the songs of heaven, like singing to me. So where I heard like a church choir in my head or angels singing to me, and it lasted about 15 minutes, give or take. But I resorted to the Bible.
Were you in like a high stress environment at that point, or is it something that you were going through that was like super high stress, maybe?
No, I was at home. I was at home.
That can be stressful sometimes.
I mean, yeah, because
you have a lot of stress.
The place I live at.
You're stressed about your apartment. You're stressed about work. I mean, like I think you're just generally stressed all the time, and you're worried, and it's affecting you.
I am, and I don't have a coping mechanism to deal with the stress, and that's the reason why I was resorting to substances. Don't get me wrong, like I do plan on being sober, but that means I have to change about 14, 15 years of my life that I've done, so it's going to be a battle. But that song or choir that I had heard, like, it was weird. It was nothing that I ever experienced before. Like, it was consistent. When I hear voices, like it's here and there. This was consistent. This didn't stop, and I did not have an answer for it at all. However, I did turn, and I don't mean to be religious, but I turned to the Bible, and then actually the next day when I went to church, the message that they put on actually fit this. So I don't really know why I heard that, but it just, for me personally, it just backs up, like it is spiritual related.
So are you familiar with, and I've heard this, and I don't know if it works for people or not, but have you ever heard of Deliverance Ministry?
No, what is that?
Well, I've heard that there's it's called Deliverance Ministry, and what they do is basically they have people that have different ailments or stuff, that they want prayed for, and like they try to go in and pray for God to remove this stuff, and it works for some people, I guess.
Really?
They believe the people that do deliverance believe that everything is spiritual based, and that there is a root that is in there that is spiritually based. Either generational curses or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because I actually, this is going to sound outlandish, my apologies, but I actually, believe that someone had placed a curse on me, my previous old roommates, last year or so, and I actually believe that I just kind of broke their curse, if you will. It was really interesting because I don't know if people have heard sleep paralysis, but I experienced that. I experienced that, and the way my dogs were reacting, like to me, like it was like they knew like an evil spirit was around, and so like I couldn't move. It's like someone like had a hand on my neck, and I could not move at all until I started praying, and then I was able to, but I I kind of went through some stuff at a townhouse last year where people will say the supernatural. I believe in it because what I went through, but then also kind of how schizophrenia, like the positive symptoms, if you will, I kind of leaned into them, and it actually kind of saved me, if you will. And turning to God and reciting the Lord's Prayer helped me even more. But I also have to be,
I can see that.
and I have to be careful though, because I don't want to feed schizophrenia. So it's just basically finding balance and all of it, because I don't want to make myself worse, but at the same time I have experienced the benefits of this disease condition, if you will. So it's
Right.
every day is flabbergasting to me. And probably the worst part of it is I pace like all the time. Like I'll pace around my apartment, then I'll look outside my window and like see if anyone's coming for me, or look outside my door and peep if anyone's there. Like I probably pace at home hours, 5 hours in a row. So it's a battle. It's a battle I didn't sign up for, but I'm trying to navigate through it.
Yeah. Well, check out that Pigs in the Parlor. Like, listen to it and stuff. You might find it interesting. I love that it's on YouTube for you.
I will. I'm gonna put my phone on for a second because I put it on the charger. I'm trying to find something, but I can still hear y'all. But Pigs in the Parlor, yeah, no, for sure. Like that sounds really, really interesting, actually.
Since we're talking about religion, what's black, white, and red in Rolling Down a Hill?
I have no idea.
All beat up by Gray.
A nun with a spear through her head.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
You're going to hell for that.
Well, Tim Gray, I guess I could see. Yeah, you know what? Religion isn't for everyone, and I completely understand. So,
I believe in aliens.
I do too. I do too.
Well, that's not to say you can't believe in aliens and be a believer. I mean,
well, aliens.
I believe in a lot of things. I believe in a lot of things. I actually believe God, we are aliens in a way. I mean, if you think the concept of God himself, like walking on water, if you even think of like what is human anyway, like what do we have that compared to?
They're just hallucinations from mushrooms. Like if it's a metaphor. It's a fucking metaphor.
I just went and grabbed my Pigs in the Parlor book real quick, and it's basically it talks about how demons enter. How this is actually one of those deliverance books. I didn't even realize that. It says if deliverance is needed, how to accomplish it for others and for yourself.
I would listen to that for sure. Like that is, I would listen to that for sure.
Yeah.
And you said that's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's an audio.
Pigs in the Parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote that?
It's Frank and Ida Mae Hammond.
Okay. Because kind of what like M. Gray was saying, like it's kind of like like everything is on shrooms. Like I've done psychedelics myself, and like to me, I've always said like it gives answers to the universe, and I actually do believe that like my schizophrenia like kind of is like an answer to the universe itself. So when I hear these things of the Bible and read them, like I completely get it, like why someone would say that, because like it's really trippy to begin with.
Yeah.
Like what is normal for us? Like what do we have that compared to? Like when we were born in this world, we said, this is human, but who was the first person to even compare that to? Like what is human itself? So everyone thinks God is this, person and such. And don't get me wrong, I ain't dissing on my God, but I'm just saying, like, God very well could be an alien. Because walking on water, all this shit, like, wouldn't that be
Jesus, not
considered
God.
alien
Have
ability?
you read Revelations and said that's not a fucking mushroom trip?
I could definitely see that.
No, but I'll definitely read Revelations now. Give me the
Really?
breakdown to that, M. Gray. I actually like that though, because that tells me you were really into Revelations and it was really interesting. And the only thing you take away is there are fucking shrooms. Like, that's really great. I love that reaction.
It is either the person who wrote it is either schizophrenic or they are like hallucinating on an incredible dose of something. But if you look at imagery from the Bible and everything and throughout history, wherever you go, it always goes back to mushrooms, right? And that, like, God and Jesus aren't real. Like, what they are is just it's a metaphor. And if you go back,
the whole Bible, every story is supposed to be a parable. It's a parable. It's not, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but
they
people
tell all these
think that
things
is
as like
fact. Like, it is taken as fact by biblical literalists.
But see, it's interesting you say that, because what I noticed with my brain is, like, I actually don't need any substances to, like, enhance my shit. I can hallucinate on my own. I don't have to take an upper to go. Like, actually with schizophrenia, there's too much dopamine in the brain to where, like, you can go on your own. Like, I'm a drug. The what they would always tell people when we're in school is, like, this is your brain on drugs. Like, schizophrenia is literally your brain on drugs. So when you say that, like, it probably, like, I really wouldn't doubt if there was a sketch wrote it, because one thing I've noticed with my shit is, like, it's really easy for me to pick out, like, if people were schizophrenia, just because, like, how, like, shit's written and such. Like, there's just, like, to me, it's like, okay, this person's going on and on and on and on. Like, more than OCD. Like, this is like, it's like it's related. So I really wouldn't doubt that myself. I really wouldn't. Like,
you can tell by the way somebody writes and whatnot, and the way that they speak, the way that they move, everything.
And that's actually how I was diagnosed. Actually, they were looking at my mannerisms, like my face and everything. And I got diagnosed, which was really interesting to me, because I just didn't realize, that's how people diagnose schizophrenia. Just looking at how their faces and how they talk. But when I listen to music now, like, I can tell artists who have skits-like symptoms, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, like Kanye, Eminem, like NF, like they for sure.
Definitely see it.
Yep. And a lot of music he writes about, like, I truly understand that shit. So yeah, like, the way my brain is, and like a positive symptom, if you will, like I can kind of see, like, what people are and their diagnosis and shit. I don't really like it. I don't really like knowing people, but it does give me more insight into people and helps understand, their life and their turmoil. Where are my headphones? With the Revelations, in Gray, when was the last time you read that? Oh, hang on a second. Hang on.
Well, I know that it's been a while since I've read Revelation. It's probably been months and months, but I am familiar with it. And I totally see the trip that she's talking about whenever they talk about certain things in there. I think we're getting some headphones in.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, my headphones died, and I've been trying to find what the hell I did with my headphone case. So sorry about that. That's what I was kind of pacing around my apartment for. So I don't know what y'all said for like a couple minutes. My bad. What did I do with my headphones? Oh, shit. But I actually had asked M. Gray right before my headphones died. When was the last time you had read Revelations?
Are you there, Gray?
Yeah,
Hello?
what's up? What's up?
Oh,
When was the last
sorry.
time you read
No, my bad.
Revelation?
When's the last time I read Revelations?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago. I go over it with
Yeah.
my friend.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
I have.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like insane shit in the
That's
fucking
Like when they start talking about the beast that has like what is it like
which
7 heads and
which version did you read?
I've read the NIV and the King
I'm
James.
definitely gonna read
Those are the
that.
two most inaccurate versions of the Bible, but
They're the most common though.
yeah. They were like rewritten and everything
No,
just a few years ago.
I have not.
Carlos, man, you are cutting in and out so terribly.
I've read.
Can you hear me, Carlos?
Hello?
It's because he's pacing his ass off.
Yeah.
I think the headphones are losing connection between that and the StreamYards.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've read a number of Bibles. I mean, I was in church for the longest time. I grew up in a church, you know, with my mom pulling me in and out. My mom was Pentecostal. My dad was Southern Baptist. So.
Like, were they like the snake playing with snakes?
They weren't on that level, thank God. But they did the speaking in tongues, and dancing around, screaming, hollering, falling out, all that.
I don't like that.
I think we may have halfway lost Carlos here. I don't know. You still with us, buddy?
Carlos!
Carlos!
Where'd you go, Carlos?
What? I'm a read.
Oh, man.
There
you are. Okay. Holy crap! Look at that. It was like a genie thing right there. He was in one room and poof, he's in another.
Is he in a hospital right now?
Oh.
What the
I don't know, man.
Oh, he said he's in the garage.
Oh, okay. Well,
Here,
I think
let
we
me
lost
drop
him in
him
the
for a
garage
second.
too.
He'll be back. Hold on. Well,
that sucks.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so it's kind of long. Okay, so there's this guy, right? And he's married to his wife, and she has like a really crazy high sex drive, like this ridiculous sex drive. And he's going on a business trip, and he's like, "Fuck, man, like I don't want her to cheat on me." So he's like, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get her a sex toy." So he goes to this sex shop, and he's like, "Okay, my wife's like really has a high sex drive. I need to make sure that she's satisfied while I go on to my business trip." And he says, okay, and the shop owner's showing him some like dildos and shit, and he's like, no, that's not good enough and everything. That's not good enough. Like that's not going to satisfy her. So he's like, I do have one thing, but you're going to have to be very careful with this one, and I don't think you're going to want it. So he like goes in the back and he pulls out this box and he opens it and he's like, well, this one's like even smaller than the rest of them. Like what's the why is this one good? And he's like, watch, and then he says, this is the voodoo dick, and he says voodoo dick keyhole, right? And the dildo flies out of the box and it starts ramming into the keyhole over and over again until the door starts splitting. And then he's like, voodoo dick box, and it goes right back to the box. And he's like, no, I need this one. This is what I need. And he says, okay. And so he gets it and he says, just remember to say voodoo dick box, and it'll go back in. And so he takes it home, right? And he goes and he hands it to his wife, and he says to his wife, here you go. And he says, all you have to do is just say voodoo dick or whatever. Like, and then he didn't say it. Then he's like, my pussy or whatever. So, but then he leaves, but he forgot to tell her about what, forgot to tell her like how to get it back in the box. So he leaves and she starts using it, and she's like, voodoo dick, my pussy, right? And it starts fucking the shit out of her, and she's done, and she's trying to pull it out, and it's not working. So she's freaking the fuck out, and she gets into the car. She's like, I need to go to the fucking hospital. Like, no one's going to believe me if I call on the phone. Like, this is insane. So she's driving down the road, and this fucking magical dick is just pounding the shit out of her, right? And she's swerving and everything, and she gets pulled over by a cop, and she's like sitting there, and he doesn't believe her, even though what he's seeing. And he's like, and she's like, no, voodoo dick, the voodoo dick. And he's like, whatever, voodoo dick my ass.
Oh!
And the rest is history.
Oh my god. Hell no.
J Rod. I feel you, Jay. No,
I've been told never to call that again multiple times because
that ending though.
It's really stupid, but
the cop got fucked in the ass on that one.
Yeah.
God, the sirens are busy here tonight. Woo.
Carlos, what are you doing?
So did y'all check out Mars's farewell video?
The 15th one.
Yeah. Can we watch that?
Was it only number 15? I could have swore that it was like 20 or 25.
I like when he goes on to tell everybody, like, I would like to fucking do a thing with Aaron Carter, and then I'm going to, like, have the camera pan to me, and then pan back to Aaron, then me again, maybe a little bit of soft classical music, and then...
We can easily compare Aaron Carter to
fucking
Mars.
Pud.
The same shit. Lying, exaggerating.
My God.
Yeah, I got to do something to break this fucking... Where are we at?
Carlos. Are you with us, buddy?
Y'all ready for some real excitement?
We need to watch a long stream.
You girls ready to get wet?
Hiatus video. Let's get wet.
Mars always makes me wet.
Nasty little trick. Here we go.
The only reason I get wet is because I'm streaming tears down my cheeks, laughing at how fucking retarded he is.
Down your ass cheeks. No, here we go.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, motherfuckers?
I'm on a hiatus. Life problems. A lot of stuff going on. Not too bad. Things are getting better. The holidays are coming around. Been busy. Work. Pretty much been working 7 days a week, even though I'm not making shit doing it. But every single day. Then on top of that, I gotta take my girlfriend to work. I pick her up. I take her to work at 3. And pick her up at 1.
Like, hey, why is that such a fucking issue? It's just taking her to work, right? I mean, does he have to climb Mount Everest to get her there, or?
Well, she's just such an inconvenience that it's like, bitch, what the fuck? Why do you even? Yeah.
How dare you not walk in the snow?
Just, yeah, it's so annoying. It's been
No, you're annoying.
We got to work on top of
You just
that.
beat the shit out of her, and then she
Yeah, I
wouldn't
got
have to go
this,
to work.
my
Seems like something
my
Shit.
ticket, I got down to $50 a month, and just not a good time for YouTube videos like the summertime, like when I'm doing good psychologically and financially. I'm always posting. Like I was posting videos every week, but I want to move on to something better, something more trendy. I'm gonna start doing these reaction videos about current events, anything. I had a video planned where I was gonna do a video about Aaron Carter. How can
Here it goes.
dive into why people, or not helping paint the aerosol cans, the duster cleaner stuff. Why somebody would do that if they're so famous and they have all these connections to drugs. And he was on other drugs too, but for some reason this guy for 10 years up aerosol. So it would start out with like a clip of him on the doctor show where he's talking about it. Then it cut to me talking about
that's
it.
old.
Another clip of him
That is
talking about
really
it. Back to
fucking
me
old.
talking about it. Or I'll do an episode about how Ukraine.
He'll catch a strike for that, doing Dr. Phil.
He needs to get on Dr. Phil. That would be
He'll probably catch
So
a
a
strike
news
for
clip of
anything that he
that,
does related to
and
Aaron Carter too.
react to it, tell my part.
Can y'all hear me?
Predictions.
Yes.
Yes.
Just all kinds of stuff. So
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
A lot of news.
It's okay.
I'm really into history, and like current events. Like I like watching Vice News. It's one of my favorite things to do. And
Likes
then,
watching what?
Since I'm this drug YouTuber, we can
Hey,
also
Carlos,
do reaction
what happened
videos.
to Mars's
That's
shower
so
stimming
these-
shit?
Huh?
Why isn't Mars?
What happened to his shower?
Using his shower.
Why doesn't he stream from the shower anymore?
Well, I have no clue. Bro, why aren't you using the shower, son? Wait, can Marcel hear me?
Oh, you guys saying he just quit
Hey,
showering
Carlos,
altogether?
how old is Mars's girlfriend?
Oh,
Old enough? I mean,
ever since she turned legal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how Marcel is. I think he's like 26. So yeah, she's probably 26. Yeah, somewhere between 25 and 28. One of those two.
Oh, she's
Is
older.
he letting you stay with him?
I'm sorry.
no, she don't like him.
Yeah, she don't like
none of his
for-
friends, I don't think.
That's stupid. I would never.
Wait, so
I-
Mars's
I may
girlfriend
not
is
like-
older than him?
Guys.
I-
Okay.
I personally never done anything menacing to Megan. I think actually just something got exaggerated, and I apologize profusely. But I don't know. Actually, she thinks I'm like a bad influence, so I have no answer to that. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my headphones though. Can Marcel hear me?
YouTubers or drug users and
Huh?
with my reaction or what
No.
I think he's doing.
It's
All
it's
kinds of
recording.
shit. All kinds of reactions.
Where are my headphones? Oh, shit.
And then
Yeah.
I'd like to do a one episode a week show live.
Here we go
I
again.
was going to use StreamYard. I'm going to use Clubhouse. I'm going to go live once a week.
He's never
on
even used
Clubhouse.
StreamYards. Now he's leaving StreamYards to move on and use
This is
something
basically
else.
Streamlabs or StreamYards without the. It's
He doesn't
just,
even know what it's called.
Audio, and then there'll be like a picture. Like
Wait,
Evan
is Marcel in on this?
Carlson White, like
No.
Oh, okay. My
Clubhouse
bad.
is starting to get really popular. Basically, you can buy.
It's
I know he has
farewell
the eggs
video.
and
wants to talk, and it can go live through YouTube, kind of like how.
Not to
StreamYard
say he's
does.
not watching from the
So one
background
week
like a
showed up,
creep.
and he has crazy drug stories. That was the guy that was driving
Marcel
around
is-
picking up the trash cans or
He's doing his best.
He's been on these month-long.
I can't find my headphones, y'all. I don't know what happened.
You
to
just
them.
had 'em.
I'm also going to tell my own story.
I had one of
He's a
them.
pastor, and I'm gonna tell a story.
I don't know why
It'd be
David
more like a
Case. Like,
podcast.
I have that on me all the
It's
time.
easier for me to tell the stories
I
when
still
I'm
wouldn't
listening,
let my
right? Because they can
friends sit
kind of
out
keep me
and not
check,
have
bring
anywhere
me
to
back.
fucking go.
Sometimes I'll wander off
And
and talk about something
fucking
else
winter
or
up
something
in
that doesn't
Indiana.
matter. Like,
I've been
I
in
forgot
Indiana
about
before, and they
like
have
the
snow,
suitcase.
okay,
Remember I
and
forgot to talk about
sub-zero
what happened to the
temps.
suitcase that they had me bring down.
Hey,
Forgot
I
about
gotta
that.
go.
And, like he would be like,
Oh,
"Oh,
you've been to
wait, I forgot about
Indiana?
the suitcase." Like it's
Yes.
All
so much
right.
easier
See
to
you
do
later,
a
Gray.
story
Okay.
video.
Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
Gray.
Kind of like
And
how
Gray,
Matt
I'll
Fox does it.
and
But
Gray,
What's up?
I will read
podcast, you feel it is another
Revelations
person.
and see how that shroom trip is.
Okay, have fun. It's ridiculous.
All right.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Okay, I finally found my headphones.
I thought
Yeah,
you
we
already
can hear you,
had
bud.
them.
Me to kind of like ask them or what about this, because that's the stuff that you guys would be thinking. So 1 week episode, maybe like every Wednesday at like 7 p.m. I'll take the day off for it. Do a live show with Nick on the live show
Fargo.
Okay, can y'all hear me finally?
on Clubhouse.
Yes.
And then these reactions.
We've been able to hear you.
And then
Loud and
maybe
clear. We can hear
once a
you.
week I'll do a story video. I'll resume
My bad,
House
I'm not a
Master's
tech
story
person.
or whatever story.
You're
Just
fine.
because I know a lot of people like those, but I realized I'm not
told
gonna
him,
be
I
able
told
to reach
M. Gray
a wider
Revelations to
audience.
get back on that shroom trip with her.
Just doing
Yeah,
those
she
little
she
stupid
said definitely
stories
do
I
that and have
do, like
fun.
the drug stories. I was trying all that.
I don't know if I should be on shrooms when I read though.
But I need to
You won't
get
need to.
on to a higher level, and it sucks because
I know, right? Yeah, my brain
that's stuff
soberly
on
can do
YouTube.
enough.
You know, we already got a big.
That's what the
fan
thing
base.
about it sucks is like
There's a Reddit
like
page
if you
about
take
the most
bipolar for
negative
example,
and
like
positive
even bipolar
posts.
people can like hear voices and shit. Like mental health is trippy. Like it's what makes us function as human beings, and it's labeled as a bad thing. But if you kind of really just like ignore the regular stigma onto it, I don't really think it is. I actually think it's good. I think it's
Yeah, see,
abilities,
bipolar
if you will.
along that lines. Bipolar rides that line of schizophrenia. It's not far off. I've heard people talk about how they heard, not necessarily voices, but like, they would believe that there were people that would really like talk about them or say stuff about them, and it had nothing to do with them whatsoever.
Yep. I actually have a close friend up here. Yes, and yeah, like it's and actually unfortunate. Substances can give you skits-like symptoms. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's I don't know. Like I like I said earlier, like I looking back, like I can recall like symptoms I had, that were that, but I thought it was normal. But like I had a split go through my brain, and so schizophrenia, skits means split of the brain. So
Right.
when that happened, I actually think like it opened up the doors to the universe that I wasn't prepared for. Like I wouldn't say I'm psychic per se, but somehow like I just know things. I don't know how. Like it's more than just sensing and regular stuff. Like it's more than sensing what people say or sensing like their heartbeats. Like it's more than that. Like it's sensing. Like I can sense things from afar. Like you know how they say like if any of y'all watch Star Wars, like there's a disturbance in the Force. It's like that. It's like there's a disturbance in the Force. Like I know that sounds outlandish. I know, but like that's kind of like another like symptom, if you will, that I deal with on a day-to-day basis with like people who are close to me. Like it's weird. It's weird. Like a lot of shit you see on movies where it's considered fantasy, I personally start to believe it. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna move the fridge, by picking it up in the air and do shit. But I could see how why people would think that. Like it's I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like a lot of people who are kind of locked up, in the loony bin, I personally don't think they need to be there. I think actually they just need someone to talk with and people to be more open-minded about the universe and such. Like none of us are normal per se. None of us are. So it's interesting how mental health is perceived and the labels that it gets thrown with. Like with autism. Like that people have always said like autism is like a step in human evolution. And I've worked with people with autism, and I have autism myself. Asperger's is the specific name of it. And people, who are mute, Down syndrome, like they're able to function
The flat
more
effect.
than what people realize. I mean, yeah. I had that myself. I have that myself. And actually, my parents, like when I was growing up, like they thought something was severely wrong with me because like I just wasn't like expressing. Like I was just flat. I don't know. It's interesting. Like I don't know if any of y'all deal with mental health yourself, but like even in y'all's own individual mental health journeys, like I'm sure y'all have experienced shit that just like you just believe it's just like, nah, like that's not in my head. Like that's just real. Like mental health is like the key to the universe, and it's not the key to it. I think the more you accept it, and the more you look at the world and realize things just are not what they seem like, that has to play into it. Like hearing voices, like seeing shadows. There's actually I came across this TikTok with schizophrenia where people see shadows, and like I see shadows here and there, but they actually think it's actually the future us trying to give us a message in that point in time, but they're not able to do so. Some people will say like spirits are around them. They'll knock off like a can of soda. Startles them, but like a spirit or yourself is trying to communicate with you at that point in time. Like the can of soda didn't just knock over on its own. Like the spirit that was there, like was trying to get your attention, whether just by making a noise, get you out of your own head. Maybe that can represent something to you, or it's an omen. Like there are things in this universe that just like, yes, are unexplainable. But the more you dive into mental health and learn more about it, I really do believe it's all connected. I think everything is connected. Like a ripple effect, if you will. I mean, have y'all ever experienced like spirits yourselves?
I want to say maybe whenever I was a kid, but in my adult years, not that I can say.
And that's interesting because, like, I don't know if any of y'all have children, but like I've noticed like when a baby cries, like a baby's crying because doesn't have mom, doesn't have dad, like baby's not getting attention. Maybe the baby pooped in his pants. Maybe the baby's hungry. Like yes, but the baby also is picking up negative energy, and we all know what picking up negative energy is like, and that don't feel good. And no doubt the baby don't feel good about it because it just got born into the world. So like the baby's crying about negative energy.
But my phone is going down slowly, so I gotta bounce because actually it's not going down slowly; it's rapidly approaching dead. So I'll see you all in the chat.
What's the book called again? What's the book called again?
It's called Pigs in the Parlor, and it's by
Pigs
Frank
in the Parlor.
and Ida Mae Hammond. Mm-hmm.
Pigs in the Parlor. Thank you very much, Jade.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
You have a good Christmas.
You too.
Yeah, man, I'm probably about to go ahead and jet too. I got stuff to do Christmas-wise, so I guess we'll holler at you in the future, Carlos.
Yeah. I'm always down to come on the show. I don't really have anything particular, so no, I appreciate you letting me come on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I wish we could have got more of a notice. I would have primed and prepped this thing a lot sooner in the day. We would have had more peeps stopping by, but seeing how it's Christmas, people are probably really busy. So, yeah, we'll get it again, man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, you
guys,
have yourself a good Christmas, Creep.
All right, you too, brother. Be safe. Be good. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You all had me
May God be
fucking
with
dying. Yeah. Guys in the chat, you all had me fucking dying out tonight. That shit was funny as hell. Thanks for the laughs. That was one hell of a Christmas gift. I love you all. Peace.